the one piece of advice I give people when they say to me that they keep getting into bad relationships and they want to stop it. It's a counterintuitive piece of advice, and it might not be something that you've thought of before. And what I'm going to say, it might sound like a criticism of you, but it is not a criticism of you, and my purpose is only to help. So when people say, I keep getting into bad relationships, and they always look the same with bad people, I never seem to be able to see bad people coming. What I would now recommend these days is that you look at something called emotional literacy. Previously, I would have said you need to look at your boundaries or you need to look at the emotional flashbacks. Now, why you're getting into bad relationships and staying with them is because of poor boundaries, yes. And it is because of emotional flashbacks, yes. But if you want better boundaries and if you want to develop better boundaries and you want to overcome emotional flashbacks and you want to get rid of this repetition complex, which is a compulsion to get into the same bad relationship over and over again, and it's usually related to childhood issues and attachment trauma to whoever the primary object was that you became attached to. So whoever you first experienced love, the love of, that's probably 9 times out of 10, that's where this repetition complex comes from. The way to do that is to develop emotional literacy. What do I mean by emotional literacy? Well, let's start with emotional illiteracy. People who are like me, who have issues with CPTSD and have had issues with poor boundaries and tend to find themselves in bad relationships, we can become unwittingly, it's not a criticism, it's feedback, emotionally illiterate. What this means is that we lose touch through trauma and through repeated, frequent, painful experiences that we were trapped inside of, that we couldn't escape. We learn to disassociate from our feelings. Why? Because they caused us so much pain. So when feeling causes pain, the brain learns, if me feel, me hurt, me not like, okay, me not feel. Then you push away feelings. As you push away the feelings, you learn to sort of stupefy your capacity to pick up emotional signals from yourself and to process them effectively. When you're truly emotionally illiterate, as I think I have spent most of my adult life being, you probably only really on a daily basis experience 2 or 3 feelings. Anger, depression, emptiness, for example. Like your emotional life becomes very limited. It becomes 3 or 4 feelings that you just experience again and again. And even those you're not really experiencing fully. When you are emotionally literate, you quite literally, and I'm using the word literally in a way that is literally correct, you become more literal. You learn to apply more words to your feelings. So, why is that important? What is the difference between, imagine me coming home and saying, I'm fucking pissed off. I'm, swear word, adjective. I'm fucking pissed off. And you say, why? And I go, I don't know, I'm just fucking pissed off. That's emotional illiteracy. I feel the emotion, I have no words to describe it, and therefore I have no means of understanding it. Versus, I am very angry. Why? I think I'm angry because I feel disappointed. I think I'm being victimized. And I'm feeling very, very sad about the situation I'm in. There's 3 more words that describe a whole new world of experience. But why stop there? Why stop at 1 level deep? Why not go 2 levels deep, 3 levels deep? You're disappointed? Disappointed about what? What's behind that disappointment? It's frustration. Oh, you say that you feel sad. Why do you feel sad? I feel sad because I faced this so many times before and da-da-da-da. And then you'll find out there's actually a whole series of experiences behind I'm fucking pissed off that actually completely make sense. You're not crazy. There's a reason why you feel this about this. One of the problems with people who have CPTSD, and the reason why we get misdiagnosed as having borderline personality disorder, is because we struggle to allocate an appropriate amount of emotion and the appropriate emotion to the appropriate stimulus. So we usually have an inappropriate emotion in inappropriate amounts to an inappropriate external factor, or even to an internal factor, to be quite honest. And that makes us get confused. People get confused between people with CPTSD and people with borderline personality disorder. That's one of the things that can happen. So emotional literacy puts you back in touch with who you really are. Because if you're out of touch with your emotions, again, this is not a criticism, and I don't want to set anybody off, but you actually can't really know who you are, because you don't really authentically know how you feel about anything. All of your feelings become manufactured consent. All of your feelings become coerced. They become the result of hypnosis. And who's going to give you that hypnosis? Well, maybe you're going to apply it to yourself, and you're going to tell yourself, no, you don't really want that. You actually really like this, and you actually feel this way about this. Or you're going to get somebody else to come in and say, no, you don't like that anymore. What you really like is this thing that I like, and I want you to like instead. And you're going to be pushed in that direction. And if you have no emotional literacy, you have no way of describing the emotional experience and no way of understanding who you are. Just coming home and going, I'm fucking pissed off, is a world of difference to being able to say, why am I pissed off? Well, actually, I'm not just pissed off. I have this emotion, this emotion, this emotion. And behind these emotions, I have secondary emotions that split off from these emotions. And what are these about? These are about reference experiences from my childhood that look like this, where this happened and this happened and this happened. My God, this is why I feel like this way, because this situation at work that I experienced is just like whatever it is, being bullied at school, being scapegoated in the family unit, being abused by somebody who was supposed to be taking care of you, somebody who you trusted. This is just like that. When we're emotionally literate, we can see that and we can process it. This is called a complex equivalent. The brain assigns meaning to experience, sometimes incorrectly. We have no means of correcting those incorrect assignments to experience and misappropriated emotions to the wrong things unless we develop that emotional literacy. When we develop that emotional literacy, the emotional flashbacks come down, and this senseless, neurotic need of the repetition complex to keep getting back into negative and unpleasant emotional experiences with intimate partners so that we can relive the trauma of youth and try and heal it. It doesn't really make sense, does it? But that's what the unconscious is driving towards. Every action always has a positive intent, no matter how seemingly negative it might be. You might actually be trying to solve the riddle of love. How can I make mummy love me? How can I make daddy love me? Well, I'm going to find the avatars of that primal object, that parent that I was trying to win love from and couldn't, and I'm going to work away at them until I can win that love. You can spend the rest of your life doing that. I have many clients who, and have had many clients who are in their 60s and 70s and they're waking up to this. You don't want to be that person. You don't want to give all of your best years away to a repetition complex just because you wouldn't explore your emotional palette and explore and expand the emotions and have a true, authentic, loving look at who you are and support yourself in being all that you were meant to be. I think I'll stop there. Thanks very much for your time and your attention, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Oh, the emotional literacy course will be out this week in the next few days. Check this link here. By the time you see it, it's probably already out. So just click this link and then you'll go and get the course and it'll be cool. And that'll be that. Thank you.